Okay, so when you are factoring, you always want to check for what first? Greatest common factor of all of the terms, okay? And that's what we will practice today. So number one, go ahead and write down this example. X squared minus 6x Okay, so out of these two terms here, x squared and 6x, what do they have in common? An x. So we are going to factor out an x out of both of the terms, and when you factor something out, you're dividing that to that term. So what is x squared divided by x? X, right? We have one x left. And then what's 6x divided by x? Just a 6, because we factor that x out. So then we'll just have minus 6. And that's all you need to do on that one. Okay, is factor out the greatest common factor. And why that's correct, because if you were to multiply the x through, what would we get? X squared minus 6x, which is the original problem. Okay, let's go number 2. Okay, so we have 36a to the third minus 24a to the fourth plus 60a to the fifth. So first we want to think, okay, out of the numbers 36, 24, and 60, what's the greatest number that divides into all three of them? 12, 8, which one? No, what number divides into all of them and is the greatest number that divides into all three? 12, right? So then we're going to factor out a 12. And how many a's do at least all of them have? 3. 3, right? A to the third. So we can factor out 12a to the third. When we factor that out, well, 36 divided by 12 is 3. And then we factored out all 3 of the a's out of this term, so we won't have any a's. Minus 24 divided by 12 is 2. And we factored 3 a's out, so we have how many a's left? 1. So just 2a. And 60 divided by 12 is 5. We factored 3 a's out, so we have a squared left. Be patient, okay? So I divided the numbers, Tanner. I did 36 divided by whatever our factor is to get the number. And then the variables, you subtract whatever you factored out from the exponent, because you took that many out. Because 12 is the greatest number that goes into 36, 24, and 60. Because you know your times tables. If you don't know, then it will take you a little bit longer, but you can still do it, okay? Let's do number 3. Let me move this up a little bit. We got 2 more problems. Okay, 8m to the third, n to the fourth, minus 22, m to the fifth, n to the sixth. Okay, so think of the numbers 8 and 22. What's the greatest number that divides into 8 and 22? Does 4 go into 22? But 2. 2 is the greatest number that goes into 8 and 22, right? So 2, I'm going to write this. And how many m's do at least both of them have? 3 m's, right? So m to the third and n to the, how many n's can we factor out? 4. So once we factor out 2m to the third, n to the fourth, what's left from this term? Only a 4, right? Because we factored out all 3 m's and all 4 n's. Does that make sense? We factored it out, so we only have a 4 left. minus 22 divided by 2 is 11. And then we factor 3 m's, so we have how many m's left? 2 of them. And how many n's do we have left? 2 of them, so n squared. Okay, well, everyone to start number 4 on your own, and then we'll check it. Question though on 3? Tanner. Positive attitude. Okay. Oh, Mikey. No, give me that smile. Hey, but I can always edit it. Okay, so what number goes into 144, 27, and 9? 9. And when you have a bunch of numbers, you always want to start with the smallest one, because the smallest number obviously will have usually the smallest amount of factors, and you always try that number itself. Okay, so 9 is the number that divides into all of them, and how many x's do all of the terms have? 2. So we have 9x squared. Do all of them have a y? No, so it's just going to be 9x squared. Tanner, how do I get this number here?
You get 9 goes into 144 16 times.
Perfect. And then once I factored out 2 of the x's, how many x's are left?
6. Oh. I had 6, but then I took 2 today.
Okay. All right. X to the 6th, and then we still have y squared plus 27 divided by 9 is 3. We factored 2 x's out, so we have 2 left. 1 y. Now, yep, because that has the y. And this is where a lot of students end there, and they forget that when you factor an entire term out, what do you need to put there? A 1, because that divided by that is 1, not 0. So let's put a plus 1, and that is our answer, folks. Questions? Okay, let's do some more.